so there should not be a problem. And if other problem, you should have reached out to those who are in charge of the program. So with that, let's start. Um, so this class is focusing on electrochemistry. Dah masuk, right? So what do you guys understand about electrochemistry? Because I want to know your understanding first. I'm not going to spend a lot of time asking you guys questions at the beginning. Sebab I need to know what to tell you first. So a few things I want to ask first. Do you understand what electrochemistry as a whole is? Faham tak? Electrochemistry ni apa guys? Seorang jawab. It's okay kalau salah because I'm not trying to reprimand you guys. I'm just trying to understand how far you are in the topic in the sense of how much you understand. Sebab kalau kami explain soalan-soalan and then you guys basics pun tak dapat grasp lagi, so it would be pointless here. So seorang jawab, what is electrochemistry in your words, in your understanding?
Pergerakan elektron dalam wire tu ataupun dalam liquid.
Dia cerita pasal electrical yang relate to chemical phenomena.
Okay, that last answer was acceptable. I mean, any answer is acceptable. Tapi basically kan, electrochemistry based on the name is exactly what it says. It's chemistry that's related to electrical energy lah. Because kita tahu chemical reactions akan produce some type of energy. So in this topic in particular, we're going to study the conversion of electricity and chemical reactions. Sebab ada two types. One, from the chemical reaction, we produce the energy, and the other one is from electrical energy, we produce a reaction, which brings us to the second, which is the electrochemical cell. What is it?
Voltaic and electrolytic cell.
Okay, those are the types of electrolytic cell, electrochemical cell. So yeah, basically it's something that has electrodes and then you have to dip it in electrolyte. But kalau tak ada electrode, kalau tak ada electrolyte, the reaction cannot happen. Next, from that, what we have electrodes. What are electrodes?
A conductor.
Okay, good. So electrodes, yes, sebab kita tahu electrode ni akan metal kan, solid conductors tu kan. So the function is to allow the electrons to pass through. So basically it is a conductor. And lastly, what are electrolytes? You guys take a long time to answer. So electrolytes are basically the liquid that we dip the electrodes into, and it also functions the same way as a conductor as well, because electrolyte tu kan dia akan selalu ke electrolyte. So the electrolytes can either be in molten or aqueous state. Okay, so electrochemical cell is divided into two. Wait, before I move on, korang semua ada ni kan? Ada notes yang dah diberi in classes, and for this program pun ada notes kan? So while I'm speaking, while any of us are speaking, please refer to your notes And kalau ada soalan, please don't be shy or don't be afraid to ask, because kalau korang tak tanya, kita orang takkan tahu korang tak faham. And one more thing, if I find that you guys lack participation, I would assume that you guys tak faham, and I would call someone to explain or to maybe do some working for us. So please speak up. It doesn't matter that if it's wrong. Tak marah pun. So referring to your notes, you know that there are two types of electrochemical cell, which are voltaic and electrolytic, like someone just said. So beza dua ni, satu produce electricity to create a reaction, satu uses electricity, terbalik, satu uses electricity to create a reaction, satu uses a reaction to create electricity. So this is the main difference, and then macam nak tahu, macam nak ingat kan. So satu is voltaic atau galvanic, satu electrolytic. So you know that the electrolytic cell has electron in it, which means you can infer that electrolytic cells use some type of electric power source. So kalau ingat that simple thing, a lot of things you can remember. Faham tak? Once you know the electrolytic cell has a battery, you know, or a power supply, you know that it uses electricity to induce a reaction. And then whatever you know from this side, you know from the other side as well. Sebab you tahu yang this side, which is electrolytic, uses electricity, the other side tak use electricity. So it produces electricity from the chemical reaction. So I'm just gonna go through simple je sebab we're gonna focus more on questions. Next, what we want you to understand today, sebab you have to have a goal before studying kan. So firstly, I want you to understand the difference between the two cells. So I explained to you just now. And then from there, you identify the pertinent information from both the cells, including like redox reaction, writing half equation, and then from the half equation deriving a full equation, calculating cell potential, and then calculating the information regarding plating process. So before we actually move on to the questions that we have prepared, that Madam has prepared, any questions about the topic before we begin?
Yeah. Are you guys okay? Have you guys take a look on the question? Hello.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay
yes.
tak? Dah try buat tak? Dah tak buat. Tak buat tak apa.
Belum.
Belum
Kita
buat.
tengok je. Tak apa, kita orang faham, kita orang buat student.
Dah
Okay,
buat
kita
revision
orang-
tak?
Belum lagi. Kalau saya belum lagi.
Oh, korang dah masukkan topik ni sebab even last time kita orang pun, sebab supposedly this topic kan nama dia chapter 7, tapi dalam syllabus nama dia chapter 7, tapi kita belajar awal.
Dah masuk.
Dah masuk dah.
Dah masuk, dah habis.
Ada chapter 5.
Dah chapter 5, okay good. Meaning that supposedly you guys dah ada kelas yang dah habis this topic, and then you should have done tutorial, and then you should have done further revision for this class. So, I mean, I understand kalau ada yang blur-blur lagi, but bila kelas ni informkan akan ada topik ni dalam meet hari ni, minggu lepas kan. So you should not have come here empty. That's all. That's what I'm trying to say. You should not have entered this class empty, but I will try. Me and my partner Aisha will try to make sure that you leave this class not empty. So please be attentive, yeah. So since you guys start the question, we'll go straight to the questions given on the study material. Boleh ke guys?
Boleh.
Boleh.
Sorry. So we won't be explaining every question because they are supposed to be done by you to test your understanding. So question 1 ni for me lah, I think it's more like a free question. Sebab everything you want to know is already in that galvanic cell reaction punya equation tu. So question 1 asks you, always read the question first. Given the following galvanic cell reaction, indicate the anode, cathode, oxidizing agent, reducing agent, and the overall cell reaction from the above cell notation. So question minta several things. Ni time tengah exam ni, you guys have to pay attention to how we answer this question because this is the most efficient ataupun best way lah for us, but you guys would not miss any information. So in the question itself, you know dia dah minta several things. Satu, anode. Another one is cathode, oxidizing agent, reducing agent, and then the overall cell reaction. So you extract the information. If you ignore the answers that we already gave you, so tulislah kat tepi tu anode apa, cathode apa, reducing agent, blah blah blah. And then tengok balik the question. So you know that given this type of this type of equation kan. What is on the left hand side? What is on the right hand side? Someone answer.
Left side is anode, right side is cathode.
Okay. So that's right. So basically, like I said, it's a free question. So kalau you guys dah tahu left hand side is anode, right hand side is cathode. So you know that so you already know two answers, which is anode and cathode. And then when you know what is anode and what is cathode, you can then tell which one undergoes oxidation, which one undergoes reduction, which is
Left is oxidation.
okay. So left hand side oxidation, right hand side reduction, because you know oxidation happens at the anode and reduction happens at the cathode for galvanic cell. Ingat, itu important, for galvanic cell. And then dah dapat tahu which one undergoes oxidation, dah dapat tahu which one undergoes reduction, then you know which one is the reducing agent, which one is the reducing oxidizing agent. You just terbalikkan. If you undergo oxidation, you are the reducing agent. If you undergo reduction, you are the oxidizing agent. Faham tak? The concept is simple, which is if you undergo oxidation, maksudnya you melalui the process of oxidation, meaning that sebab you oxidize, someone else will be reduced. So sebab you as a thing oxidize, someone else will reduce. So maksudnya you are the reason someone else is being reduced. So that makes you a reducing agent. Faham tak? And then kalau in terms of reduction pula, because you are being reduced, you know that someone else is going to be oxidized. So you are the oxidizing agent. And then for the half equation, you need to understand the half equation so that you can understand the overall equation. So you know that it's zinc and it undergoes oxidation. So oxidation is loss of electron. So you need to start off with zinc as a solid on the left hand side. And then the oxidized product must have an electron with it because you know that it loses electron. And then at the reduction side, it's inverse. So you know that it starts with something that has less electrons and they're going to gain electrons. So from Fe3 plus, you gain one electron, it becomes Fe2 plus. That is what is found from the equation. Tapi you tahu sebab walaupun dia have equation, dia connected because sebab zinc undergoes oxidation, cathode will undergo reduction. So you cannot just put it as one electron. You must multiply the whole equation by 2 to match the zinc. So that's why kat dalam tu ada bracket and then times 2. And then the whole equation for iron 3 plus jadi 2Fe3 plus 2E equals to 2Fe2 plus. That way 2E ni dah match. So you can cancel it out. So jadi zinc plus 2Fe3 plus equals to zinc 2 plus 2Fe2 plus. Faham tak soalan ni macam mana? If I'm going too fast atau macam my words are not clear, just raise your hand and say something. Okay, eh?
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Alright. Next question that we are going to discuss is question 2. Yeah, question 2. So everyone take a look at question 2 first. I'm not going to show you the answer. Just yet. So I want you to look at the question. So let's read it together. Number 2, everyone is looking at question 2. A voltaic cell is constructed using the following two half cells. So kat situ pun kita dah tahu a few information, which is this is a voltaic cell. And then question 2a, it asks you to write the half cell equation for the reaction that occurs at anode and cathode. Easy question kan? So this is similar to question 1. So someone jawab, tapi I don't want you to just say the answer. I want you to describe your thought process. I'll just pick someone lah. I see someone called Siti Suraya. 2A, and tell me how you reach that conclusion.
Okay. Okay, paling positif cathode. Jadi Ag is cathode. Lepas tu maksudnya zinc adalah anode. Nak susun tu anode kan oxidation. Jadi yang tu kan standard reduction. SRT standard reduction tu. So maksudnya kita kena terbalik kan. Jadi zinc arrow zinc 2 plus 2E minus. Jadi dia punya inert cell inert tu jadi positif 0.76 volt. Lepas tu cathode tak perlu nak terbalikkan sebab itu memang dah dalam keadaan reduction punya reaction lah. Itu je. Betul ke?
Okay. There were a few unnecessary information. Sebab question A tanya apa? Half equation. So yes, you need to identify the anode and cathode and everything else lah. So you identified the anode correctly, you identified the cathode correctly, and then you gave your reason, which is according to the table thing, and then you inverted the equation. So for anode, because they gave you a reduction and anode undergoes oxidation. So correct. So let me just share the answers. Semua faham dia punya working? There it is. So yeah, just as she said just now, based on what is given, the E naught is more positive for Ag, which means it's the cathode, and then the E naught is more negative, so this means zinc is the anode. So the half equation is inverted for zinc based on the question, sebab question bagi terbalik kan. So that one you need to make sure you don't mess up. So this is how you would answer the question. Wait, yeah. So this is the answer for question A tau. Sebab dia nak half cell equation sahaja. Next, question B. If the concentration of zinc 2 plus is 0.5 m and Ag plus is 0.002 m, calculate the cell potential, which is E cell at 25 degrees Celsius, given gas constant and 1 Faraday equals what is given. So from question A, but you know that most of the time, if they have question A and question B, you have to relate it with each other. So question A, you dah tahu the half equation. So you can derive the overall equation. From there, you can find the n, which is needed for the equation. Semua follow So step 1, you list down anode and cathode macam question 1 tadi. So at the anode, zinc is converted into zinc ion. At the cathode, Ag is converted into Ag ion is converted into Ag solid. But you know that zinc has 2 electrons that is released from it. So Ag pula terima 1 je. So you know you need to multiply by 2. Tapi multiply by 2 that does not mean you multiply this value tau. This value remains constant. So next, from this, you get the overall equation, which is zinc plus 2 Ag plus equals to zinc ion plus Ag. So you know the electron that are transferred is 2. So what is the cell potential? Cell potential is cell potential is found using the does anyone know?
There's equation.
Yes, that's equation. So first you cari E naught cell. E naught cell you dah tahu ada 2 cara you boleh cari, which is E naught cathode minus E naught anode, ataupun what's the other way? Satu dah tunjuk kat sini, which is E naught cathode minus E naught anode.
Oxidation plus reduction.
Betul. Okay. So whichever is easier for you to understand atau whichever is easier for you to remember, you use that method. So the method that we used here is E naught cathode minus E naught anode. So you know that the E naught for cathode is positive 0.8 and the E naught for anode is negative 0.76. So minus minus equals positive. So this is the E naught cell. From there, you can get the cell potential, which is E cell. And you know from the Nernst equation, it's E naught cell minus 0.0592 over N log Q. Again, N is the number of mole that we found, which is 2. And Q is the anode over cathode. Anode kat atas So ada sedikit error kat situ. It's not 0.045. It's 0.45. So then you just do it mathematically and then you get the answer lah. Is everyone clear on this?
Clear.
Alright, thank you. Kalau tak faham serius jangan senyap je. Sebab to me this thing I'm having slightly hard time explaining this sebab macam benda ni literally ikut formula je. So if you guys remember the formula, there would be no problems in answering the question. The question would be one, identifying anode and cathode, and you know how to identify the anode and cathode. Two, creating half cell equation. And then from the half cell equation, you get the overall equation. From the overall equation, you get the n, which is electron transfer. In this case, it's 2. And then you also get the cell potential from the understanding that you get by using the Nernst equation. So there is a clear flow. So if you guys tak faham this flow, then you guys won't be able to answer this question. And if you don't tell me now, I won't be able to explain to you how to remember ataupun how to actually apply yourself in this type of situation tau. So, like take like I don't know 10 seconds to digest it and then we'll move to the next question.
Kalau kita guna formula lagi satu, boleh ke? Yang untuk part Nernst equation tu.
Which formula is that? Tell me the formula.
Yang dapat ingat cell minus 2.303 RT over NF. Oh, ada dalam note.
Sorry?
Ada dalam note formula tu.
So don't be confused Nernst equation is the one yang dah expand tu. Yang RT over NF tu is sebab R is a constant, F is a constant, and T pun dah bagi which is 25. So that's why you get the 0.0592 tu tau. So from that equation sebenarnya you derive it into the Nernst equation. Contohnya kan, kalau question tu kata temperature bukan 25 degree Celsius, kalau any of the variables berubah, you can use the RT over NF. Tapi most of the variables are already given, which is 25 degrees Celsius, and then you know that R is constant, and then F pun is a constant. Faham tak? So yang the final Nernst equation tu is what you get when you have already bukanlah eliminated but assimilated the variables into the overall equation. Sebab nak bagi senang faham dan senang ingat.
Tapi kalau yang tu dalam exam, dikira dapat markah ke?
Dalam exam, I would advise you to use the usual equation.
Okay.
Sebab I'm not trying to put you down or anything because dalam this equation in particular, you only have to find a few things, which is N and E cell. Yang lain semua dia dah incorporate inside the equation. Plus, if you do it manually, your answer might be deviated quite far from the answer scheme. You know that there are standard deviations for the answer schemes, right? So kalau you key in R, T, and F manually, the number of deviations would increase. Sebab yang 0.0592 over N ni, dia dah calculate and standardize on their own. Like the people of chemistry dah standardize the formula on their own. Kalau you buat RT over NF tu, that means you're not saying you're creating a new one, but you're using probably something different from what they standardize. So nanti the end product might have more than slight deviations. Faham tak? Okay, good.
Thank you.
Sorry nak tanya boleh.
Boleh tanya.
Nilai N tu kita dapat dari mana?
Nilai apa?
Nilai N.
Tak dengar, sorry.
Nilai N.
N
0.059 tu.
over N.
Yes.
Okay. So, nilai N, you look at step 1. I'm going to explain lebih sikit. So, step 1 kan dah dapat anode, dah dapat cathode. So, from there, you dapat the overall equation and you kenapa darab 2 sebab nak bagi balance. So, the overall equation as you can see dah potong 2E tu sebab dia matching kan. So, you know that there are going to be 2 electron transferred in this reaction. So that's why the N is the number of electron transferred in the equation. Sebab tu you kena faham step 1 dulu, baru you boleh buat step 2 and step 3. So N tu you get from the equation, which is 2 electrons. So 2. Faham tak?
Faham?
Alright. Anybody else ada question? Semua faham Like looking at the components of the Nernst equation, you should be able to understand how to get E naught cell. You should be able to understand N ni nak dapat dari mana, and then you should be able to understand Q ni apa, which is in this case zinc over argentum, which is anode over cathode. Kenapa squared tu? Sebab kenapa squared for argentum, for Ag+?
Sebab dekat dia punya equation yang kita letak dengan anak tu ada 2 depan dia.
Alright, good. So you faham lah kenapa this thing happens, because everything ada its own reason. So you see the flow kan. Okay, next question.
Sorry.
Yes.
Boleh tak tolong kenapa ada square tu?
Kenapa ada square? Okay. See you guys, kalau tak faham, please tanya terus. I had to prompt you guys in order to get these questions. I'm not angry. It's just that please don't be afraid to ask any questions. Seriously, because we're here to make you understand. So, kenapa ada square tu? If everyone can see square yang ni, because dekat equation, the argentum is 2 moles. So in this part pun kena reflect the equation, which is 2. So you need to square. Kalau contohnya lah, this is not a good example. Contohnya lah kat sini argentum ada 3, zinc ada 5. So in this equation needs to reflect this equation. So kat sini pun 0.45 bukan 0.045 45 je. Kena power 5 and yang ni pula kena power 3. Faham What you do at the Nernst equation must reflect your half equation or overall equation. Yang tanya tadi tu faham
Okay, thank you.
Alright. Next question. Question 3. A voltaic cell is constructed by immersing a lead plate into PbNO3 to solution. Add 1 half cell and a silver plate into wait a minute. Uh, so let's look at the question. Again, read the question. A voltaic cell is constructed by immersing into solution at 1/2 cell and silver plate into a AgNO3 solution at another half cell. So dia dah bagi this. Determine the each cell if the concentration at 25 degrees are 0.6 and 0.2 m. Given gas constant and 1 Faraday equals this one. So once again, identify which is the anode and cathode. In this case, it's lead at the anode and cathode is argentum. Like this is basically the same thing. I'm just going to reiterate. So cari anode, cari cathode, balance the equation, make an overall equation, and then from the overall equation, you find the number of electron transferred, which is 2. So that's the first step. Second step, finding the E naught cell by using either E naught cathode minus E naught anode or E naught oxidation plus E naught reduction. Once you get this, you can transfer the details into the Nernst equation. E naught cell dah jumpa in step 2, N dah jumpa in step 1, and then Q dah jumpa also in step 1, which is numerator as anode as numerator and cathode as denominator. Kenapa squared? Because argentum is also has 2 moles in the equation. From there, you get your final answer, which is 0.90 volts. Because everything I explained in the first questions, but it's literally the same question but different elements. Faham eh? Alright.
Faham.
Faham.
Any questions at all? Tak ada eh? Okay.
Tak ada.
The next question will be explained by my partner. Again, kalau ada question, just ask.
Ada soalan nak tanya. Kan tadi soalan nombor 2 tadi kan? Dia punya zinc tu kan tukar dia punya simbol jadi positif kan? Kenapa dekat E cell tu jadi negatif juga?
Apa soalannya?
Kan soalan nombor 2 tadi kan? Untuk cari E cell tu kan? Zinc tu kan tukar simbol. Kerana tu kan dia jadi positif 0.76 kan? Volt. Tapi bila masuk dalam formula E cell tu jadi negatif.
Tak dengar. It's not clear. Can you just type? It's okay. Just type. Sebab macam tak clear sangat.
untuk soalan nombor 2 tu kan. Yang untuk cari E cell tu kan, untuk cari E cell tu kan, anode dia kan bila masuk dalam anode tu kan formula E cell cathode minus E cell anode kan. Bila masuk dalam E anode tu jadi negatif 0.76 tu kenapa?
Question 2. Question 2. Kenapa negative 0.76 boleh masuk equation? That's your question lah.
Kan bukan bila kita kan dah tukar jadi positif ni.
Tak ada. Tak ada tukar. Cuba
I
tengok.
think she understood about flip. Kita flip equation tu, so saya rasa dia tersalah faham ke.
So
Sebab kita flip kan untuk yang lagi satu tu yang kena apa tu, flip sekali dia punya tu. Tak silap saya enthalpy, tak silap saya yang tu.
yang tu. Yeah. The one where you have to change the symbols because you change the flow of the reaction kan? Yeah, that's not in this.
I think she understood lah. Penting lah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, okay. Sebab Aisyah dah present. Aisyah boleh tunjukkan tak yang question 2 and 3 tadi?
Sekejap nampak tak?
Sekarang on the screen is question 8 for me. Okay, dah nampak. So can you see the working? We didn't change there is no change in sign. It's still dekat atas tu E0 A0 is still negative 0.76 volts, and then dekat cari E cell pun negative 0.76 volt. So dekat sini tak ada changing tu.
Sorry. Nak
Yes,
cakap
it's fine. It's fine apa?
Saya rasa dia faham yang kalau kita guna formula oxidation plus reduction. Sebab yang tu kita tukar simbol tu. So dia tukar yang tu sebab kalau nak cathode tak perlu ubah apa-apa.
Betul. Oh, okay. So I understand the question now. So kenapa tak ada perubahan sign Okay. If you can see that, dia bagi E0 anode and E0 cathode. So it's based on the terminal. It's not based on the reaction itself. Macam yang kawan you cakap tadi, pay attention yang tanya tadi, macam yang kawan you cakap tadi tu, kalau you ada macam apa nama dia tu, right? So if you use the E0 oxidation plus E0 reduction, baru you have to macam change the sign. Sorry, not feeling that well. So faham tak? That's why we mostly use this equation tau, sebab bila you guna cathode minus anode ni, you don't have to worry about any sign change.
Okay, faham. Terima kasih.
Sama.
Okay, done.
Wait.
Any more question for the previous question?
No.
Okay, just to macam clarify, kalau you guna yang oxidation plus reduction, yes, you have to change the sign sebab dia yang dia bagi tu apa nama dia tu, reduction punya. The information given in the question is the E for reduction. So of course, kalau you guna reduction and oxidation, you have to change the sign. Contohnya lah kan, in that question, the one that undergoes oxidation is zinc. Zinc punya reduction value is negative 0.76. Tapi dekat equation you guna E oxidation. So it's not the same. So you have to invert it, which is tukar sign lah. So in that instance, 0.76 plus 0.08. You don't change argentum because argentum already undergoes reduction and the value is already based on reduction. So macam faham tak? Faham yang tanya tu? Alright.
Okay. Let's move on to question number 6. Okay, kalau slide ni freeze ke apa bagi tahu tau. Okay, I will be explaining about question related to electroplating and any question that related to electroplating. I will suggest you to refer to this diagram. Sebab diagram ni can help you to cari the answer yang the question minta. Okay, let's take a look on the question number 8 first. An aqueous solution of copper sulfate CuSO4 is electrolyzed using a current of 0.67 ampere for 2.3 hours. Calculate the mass of copper deposited at cathode. Given atomic mass Cu equals to 64 gram per mole, S equals to 32 gram per mole, O equals to 16 gram per mole, and 1 Faraday equals to 96500 coulombs per mole. Okay, the first step you need to do is to list down all the information given. Okay, kat sini okay, from the question you can see that over here dia bagi tahu the current value, and then the time given is 2.3 hours, and make sure that you convert it to the SI unit of time, which is second. And then the question asks to calculate the mass of copper. And the molar mass of copper is given 64 gram per mole. Okay, this is the first step, which is to list down all the information given. Okay, the second step, you can take a look at this diagram. Nampak tak diagram ni?
Nampak.
Okay. Question tadi dia bagi current. Lepas tu dia minta for mass. Okay. Dia minta for mass and then dia bagi current. So from this diagram, kita dah nampak flow dia from current to mass. Daripada bawah ke atas. So we just need to follow this diagram. Okay. First, daripada current, which is the information given, we can cari the charge by using the time given. Which equation yang boleh digunakan? The equation is Q equals to IT. Sebab dia dah bagi time and then dia minta for charge. Kan kita ada dua equation untuk nak cari charge, which is Q sama dengan NF dengan Q sama dengan IT. Tapi this diagram kita boleh tengok dia freeze
Tak, okey je.
Okay. Okay. From this diagram kita boleh tengok yang untuk cari charge, we need to use time. So we need to use the equation Q equals to IT untuk cari charge. Then you can just substitute the information given, which is current dah bagi, time, make sure you convert it into SI unit, which is second, and then get the answer in column. Column ni charge untuk unit untuk charge. Okay, the second step boleh refer diagram ni juga. Lepas dah cari charge, you can cari the amount of electron transferred by using the Faraday constant. Dia dah bagi kat sini. By using the Faraday constant, which mean kita kena guna Q equals to NF. Bila kita rearrange balik the equation untuk nak cari mole electron transferred, kita dapat equation dia jadi macam ni. Okay. Q tadi kita cari dapat kolom ni. Lepas tu Faraday dia dah bagi 1 Faraday equal to 96,500. Okay, just substitute the information given and then we get the answer 0.057 mole electron. Yang ni electron transferred. Okay, lepas step 3, we move on to the next step, which is to look for the mole of substance. Okay, substance kita kat sini, kita guna cathode. Sebab electroplating, dia melibatkan cathode. So we focus on the half fraction dekat cathode, which is copper. So the half equation is this one. Then to cari amount mole of substance, kita kena make sure we use the balance half equation. Okay, macam mana nak tahu dia balance ke tak? We can take a look dekat sini, dia punya charge 2, so make sure that electron dia 2 juga. So yang ni dah balance, we can just list down all the information given. Okay, yang kat sini, cathode ni, elektron yang kat cathode ni, dia refer to electron transferred. So based on this equation, electron transferred dia equal to 2 mole electron. And then yang ni, the value yang kita dah cari. This one is the mole of electron transferred, which is equal to 0.057 mole. And then kita nak cari dia punya mole of copper, mole of the substance. So we can just do this step, which is macam nisbah. And then from this step, we just need to divide into 2 because the equation show that only 2 mole of electron transferred. Okay, lepas tu the answer will be 0.0285 mole. Okay, the next step, which is the last step yang kita nak cari, the mass. Okay, this one is the basic formula in chemistry. Kita dah belajar dari sekolah menengah dulu. Which is mass equals to mole times molar mass. Okay, mole tadi, mole of copper tadi kita dah cari 0.0285 mole. And then we just need to times with the molar mass. And the molar mass pun dah diberi dekat question which is 64 gram per mole. So we just need to substitute the answer, substitute the information given. Then dapat jawapan 1.824 gram. Okay. Okay. Anything you want to ask if you don't understand?
Nak tanya, soalan macam ni, dia memang bagi mass, lepas tu suruh cari current, dia bagi current, suruh cari mass. Memang macam tu je ke?
Macam ada?
Macam soalan dia bagi mass, kita memang kena cari current. Kalau dia bagi current, kena cari mass. Soalan dia memang macam tu je ke?
Oh, tak, sometimes dia minta masa, dia minta time. So kita kena, tapi dia akan minta around this je lah, yang Q equals to IT tu. So it doesn't mean dia question dia akan tanya mass, dia akan tanya current je. Ada je soalan yang akan minta time.
Okay, terima kasih.
Sama. Yang lain? Any question?
Tak ada.
Currently tak ada.
Okay. Okay, the next one is question number 10. Kita nak digest dulu. 5 minutes. Okay, I will continue ya.
Okay.
Okay. The next question, kita orang pilih question number 10. Okay, let's read the question. Yang ni pun related to electroplating and we can just refer to the diagram previously. Determine the time taken to coat 3.5 gram of aluminium using a current 10 ampere in 1 hour during the electrolysis of molten AlCl3, and given the atomic mass of Al equals to 27 gram per mole. Okay, the question asks to cari time taken, and dia bagi information which is the mass of aluminium equals to 3.5 gram. And then current dia bagi 10 ampere, and Faraday dia tak bagi kat sini, tapi usually the question will give you the Faraday value. Okay. And dia bagi atomic mass which is molar mass equals to 27 gram per mole. Okay. This one dia terbalik dengan tadi tu. Yang tadi tu dia ask for mass. Tapi yang ni dia ask for time. Dia minta time. So time, kalau kita refer kat sini, untuk cari time we need to have charge and then dia bagi information in mass aluminium. So we can start from above. Yang tadi kita start from current kan? Yang ni kita start from mass. So we just need to follow this diagram. First tengok mass, dia bagi mass, and then we look for amount of substance, amount mole of substance. By using the basic formula yang ni, basic formula mole of aluminium equals to mass over molar mass. Mass dia dah bagi dekat question, lepas tu molar mass dia bagi juga dekat question 27 gram per mole. And we just need to substitute, and then the answer will be 1.30 mole electron. Okay, the next step, lepas dah cari amount mole of substance, kita cari amount mole of electron transferred. Anything related to amount mole of electron transferred, we need to use balance half equation now. So which half equation? We need to use the half equation dekat cathode. Sebab electroplating, we use cathode terminal. Dia cathode, hanya cathode yang terlibat dalam electroplating. Okay. So sama macam tadi, we just need to list down the information given. Yang ni, yang kita cari mole of aluminium. 1 mole equal to 1.3 mole electron yang kita cari ini. Okay, lepas tu yang electron transferred, macam I said before, kita boleh ambil daripada cathode equation ni, yang 3 ni indicate the mole of electron transferred. So we need to cari the value of electron transferred. So we times with 1.3 mole. Because the mole of electron transferred is equals to 3. Okay, so the answer will be 3.9 mole electron. And then the next step is to cari charge by using the Faraday constant. So bila use the Faraday constant, we need to use the equation Q equals to NF. So N which is the mole of electron transferred, dah cari tadi. And then Faraday is given. And then just substitute, and then you will get the answer in columns. And the last step is to cari the current, but the question asks for the time. Tapi sama je sebab we use the same equation. We use the same equation which is Q equals to IT. So we just rearrange the equation to get the time taken. Then just substitute the charge yang kita cari tadi, and then current is given dekat question. Then you can get this answer in second because the SI unit of time is in second. But if you want to tukar in minutes dengan hour pun boleh. And this will be the answer. Okay. Any question?
Akak nak tanya.
Ya.
Yang dekat step 2 tu kan, number of mole tu saya dapat 0.13.
Mana?
Dekat yang step 2 tu, yang cari number of mole aluminium tu, saya dapat 0.13.
Oh, sekejap
Okay.
Okay. Okay, sorry tadi ada error sikit. So dapat 0.3 kan tadi? Okay. Lepas tu final answer ni sama tak? Ke tak cari lagi? Hello? Dengar tak?
Dengar.
Okay. Okay, dah saya dah betulkan tadi. Okay, this is the final answer. So, saya tak check tadi sebab ini jawapan skema. Okay. Sorry for that. Okay. Anything you want to ask?
Nak tanya,
Ya.
nanti slide ni kita orang dapat ke?
Nak ke? Nanti saya upload dekat Google Classroom.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Anything? Anything else? Tak ada
Tak ada.
Tak ada.
Okay. Nanti perasan tak dekat Google Classroom ada satu section ni dia suruh submit task.
Perasan. Ada.
Rasa.
Ya.
So nanti kita orang nak korang buat this question 5, question 6 dan question 7. And then submit dekat situ.
Boleh.
And tak silap due dia esok.
Esok.
Okay. Boleh 3 question je?
Boleh.
Okay. I think that's all from us.
Kakak nak tengok je slide soalan nombor 10.
Okay.
Akak nak tanya. Bukankah sepatutnya aluminium tu dia adalah anode?
Anode.
Kenapa dia cathode
So biasa question dia akan untuk question jenis yang plating ni dia akan just ask untuk time taken aluminium dia akan mention satu specific substance and that one biasanya usually anode. Usually cathode. So saya tak payah fikir banyak pun just ambil that equation then just terus buat half equation.
Okay. Faham. So, kita tak payah fikir sangat lah.
Dia kalau nak tahu boleh tapi dia more kepada teori.
Oh, okay. Faham.
So kena faham teori. Okay. That's all ya? Itu je. Anything you want to ask again? Okay. I think that's all from us. You guys boleh left.
Tak apa. Diorang stay kan?
Diorang stay